John from fatsexblog.com here today, and in this video I'm going to step you through a new Ezoic case study. Started at the beginning of September for two of my sizable niche sites. These aren't my biggest, but they're big enough and they get enough page views and visitors that I could get pretty good data from Ezoic. Ezoic's made some changes over the years, and this year they have as well. One really nice change is a whole new revenue and EPMV reporting, basically dashboard. The data you can get is amazing, and I really wanted to check it out. I also wanted to see how the revenue would perform compared to previous months with my other display ad networks. And so here we have a overview of results. On the left here I have niche site 1. We'll just refer it to site 1, and site 2 on the right. And you can see here on a month-by-month played and start till September, and then I've got a daily shot here for site 2, and you can see sort of the overall trends. It's only been now 32 days that I've been using Ezoic, but that's enough time. I thought I'd get this video done. So what is Ezoic? Ezoic really has two key features these days. The first is, and this is really the reason it launched several years ago, and that is to split test ad placements at different ad networks, types of ads, and so forth on websites. And what it does is it just fires various configurations of different ads and sizes and placements all over your site on different URLs. And depending how you optimize it, you can optimize for revenue, which is what I do. I want as much revenue as possible, but you can also optimize for page views, bounce rate, and time on site. And depending what you focus on, Ezoic will ultimately then deliver ads to meet your optimization goals. Let's jump into results. Here I have a couple of charts. One is for revenue and one is EPMV. EPMV stands for earnings per 1,000 visitors, and that's a metric that Ezoic likes to use. It's different than RPM, which is revenue per 1,000 page views. Typically a visitor could potentially do multiple page views, and Ezoic likes to break it down to revenue by visitor. I prefer that metric as well, although I also do pay attention to RPM just because that's more the industry standard. So we're looking at results here. This is site 1, and you can see it's not a big difference. Didn't have a huge bump in revenue, didn't have a huge bump in the EPMV. So site 1 could almost say broke even, not a huge benefit. However, I'm going to keep site 1 on Ezoic for one reason, and that is I really like the data and the reporting, which I can't get from any other ad networks at this time. So for now, I am going to stick with this site on Ezoic because I find the information I can get as to how much different URLs are earning and devices and so on and so forth is really valuable. Here's the next site, call it site 2. Here you can see quite a significant jump. So blue is the pre-Ezoic, which was other ad networks that I was using, and it's not that I wasn't aggressive with them. I was, so it's not like I softballed that one and then threw Ezoic on and went full throttle. I was pretty aggressive pre-Ezoic, and then Ezoic, we are experiencing a really nice revenue bump. Traffic did climb for that site a little bit more, so it's really important to look at the EPMV number because that factors in any sort of traffic drops or increases, and as you can see, the EPMV jumped considerably. In case you're wondering just how big these sites are, site 1 gets about 180 to 190,000 visitors per month, and site 2 is anywhere from 40 to 43,000 visitors a month. So they're sizable. The page views are obviously quite a bit higher than that. Sizable sites, that's almost about 250,000 visitors tested between the two sites, and in my view, that's more than enough data to count on the results testing with Ezoic in this way. Next up, I want to do a quick run through the Ezoic Dashboard. I do have fatsexblog.com loaded in here, although I don't run ads on the site. This is more for demo purposes. So I'm not going to go through every feature here. That would get pretty boring. You can check it out yourself. I want to go through the main one, and that's the ad tester. And so that's already loaded. So all I would do is open that up. And once that loads, I'll be able to start creating ads. Now you can create as many different ads as you like, and you have a lot of options in terms of locations. You can specify mobile, tablet, and or desktop, and then you create your ads. It'll show you them. You can name them, give you ideas where they were. I've made a few over the years. So we have your typical display ad placeholders, which are banner ads. And then we have native ads, which are tabula type ads, the grids, clickbait stuff, good for the bottom of websites. And then the link units. Unfortunately, I think the link units are not very good. They're the menu looking type ads that both AdSense and Media.net offer. Unfortunately, they're not mobile responsive with Ezoic, so they don't look very good. So I use them a little bit, but not a whole lot. I find the responsive AdSense version can be really good on websites. So I don't know why Ezoic can't get responsive ads in the platform. It would be cool if they did. It's pretty much my only complaint about the whole thing. So creating an ad is really simple. You just go here, you add a display ad placeholder, and you'll be able to basically specify all the different sizes you want. Now, the best way to use Ezoic is to load up a lot of placements. I do about 75 per page, and then that lets Ezoic just fire up a whole bunch of different configurations, hoping to hit on the best optimization configuration possible for each individual page. And what's cool about that is one URL may earn more from one configuration of ads and another URL from a different. So that's something that would be impossible to do manually with just a regular AdSense account. But with Ezoic, it's possible because it's basically a computer just rifling all these different placements and all your different URLs, and ultimately it will show ads that happen to earn you the most, or optimize however you want. If you're looking for more page views, then it would optimize for that. So we've got an ad placeholder. You can specify devices. Pretty straightforward stuff, right? You can float it or align it. And then here they all are. Okay, these are all your banner ads. Now you can select them all, or you can just choose whichever ones you want. What I do is I load basically as many as I can. I pretty much check every box, except unless it's a sidebar, I don't do the verticals. I don't put vertical long skinny ads in the middle of content, so I typically don't select those unless it's a sidebar. But the rest of them I will, with the exception of maybe the 970, which is not going to fit in the content area, so I wouldn't do that. But other than that, load them all in and let Ezoic figure it out. So you can just select all and then let it go. I'd probably unselect the 970 if it's in content. And then you'll get a little snippet of code and you put that on your site. Now, if you're split testing against your AdSense or other ads that's already on your site, you'd wrap the code around that code. But if you're just going to use the AdSense platform 100%, which is what I did, by the way, for both my niche sites, I didn't split test with the other ads. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to fire up Ezoic 100%. Then if you're just going to use Ezoic 100%, you just take the code that they give you and put it wherever it is you want to put it in your site. I use the Ad Inserter WordPress plugin for ad management. There's another video on my channel that shows you how I go about using it and why I use it. For me, it's the best. It works really well. The free one offers a lot of features, probably more than enough than you need. But if you do use Ezoic and you're going to load 75 ad placements on your site, you're going to need the premium Ad Inserter plugin, just because you're going to need more placeholder options. So that's it. You create the ad here, and it takes a little while if you're going to create 75 of them. That takes some time, but once it's done, and you just load them up. Next up, I want to show you the optimization goals page. This is a pretty nice feature, and it's something you want to play around with. You can go for a balanced optimization. You can focus on revenue, user experience, or you can customize it. All right, I often go for custom. And then so if you want to like 100% revenue and everything else 0, you can go for that. That's going to be a really aggressive ad placement. Like, you're going to get a lot of ads on your page. I typically dial it back to between 80 and 85, and then just split the difference among the rest of those. I believe if you went with a revenue focus strictly, it's going to drop your focus on revenue to about 70% and then split the difference among these. Next up, I want to showcase my second favorite feature of Ezoic, and that is the new big data analytics. It's in beta now, but it's really cool. So I'm going to jump through. I've got a bunch of data screens from the two niche sites. You can get an idea of all the info you get. So let's jump there next. Here we are in big data analytics. And the first thing I check out is revenue, and more importantly, EPMV on a URL by URL basis. Now, I've blocked a bunch of info here as well as the specific URLs for this site, but this is niche site 2 that I am doing the testing for. And so basically go through a lot of it. It's kind of laid out a lot like your Google Analytics account, so that's kind of nice. So you're probably somewhat familiar with that. Anyways, you just jump to under content to landing pages, and it's going to pull up really great information. Now, each line here, each row represents a single URL on the website. And so what I really like to see is EPMV, that because revenue is going to be based, I mean, obviously some are going to just have a lot of revenue because of higher traffic levels. What I want to know is what articles are earning above average revenue based on 1,000 visitors. And look at the range here. I mean, this is well, it's not really surprising, but in a way it is. I mean, we go all the way from $11 to $35, depending on the different type of article. This is really good information, because what I should be doing going forward is publishing more of these 35 EPMV articles and less of the 11. So that's the example of revenue by, I guess you can call it landing page or by URL. Next up, another really useful piece of data you can get from Ezoic here is by device. You can specify your device. You can do just mobile, just tablet, just desktop, combinations of those. And then you can see what your EPMV is for that. And that's really useful as well, especially if you're going to buy traffic. All right, we're not going to get into that, but you can, in theory, buy traffic for your website. And generally, if you're going to buy traffic, mobile's a lot cheaper, so you want to look for your really high earning mobile pages and rifle some traffic to that. You can see here, again, huge range in EPMV in mobile, anywhere from $11 to $31. Next up, by country. This can be very useful too. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can really control about this. I mean, you're going to target more United States or Canada just because it has a higher EPMV, as you can see. But there's only so much control you have over that, except if you buy traffic again. Suppose you find a country that you can get really, really low-cost traffic to from Facebook or Outbrain, but it's actually earning pretty good EPMV. That could be an opportunity to buy traffic. Just a note, I'm talking about buying traffic here. That's a pretty hard thing to do these days. It used to be a lot easier. So don't just run out and start buying traffic because I've mentioned it in this video. This data will help you with that, but it's hard to do. It's very difficult to profit on unless you are selling physical products or selling something with a lot more value to it than just running display ads for revenue. But if you happen to get some decent results buying traffic, this little tidbit of data is super useful. What you can do is you can create the UTM URLs, UTM medium URLs. Just Google it and there'll be a little form that comes up. This is something that also tracks in analytics. And what you can do is you can create these tracking URLs that Ezoic will actually be able to tell you how much EPMV and revenue you're generating. So, for example, if you ran a Facebook ad and you created that special UTM URL for that particular ad, then Ezoic will tell you exactly how much that ad is earning you. And because Facebook or Outbrain or whichever traffic source you use, note, don't use lousy traffic sources. If you're going to buy traffic, make sure it's good. Facebook will tell you exactly how much that ad is costing you, so you can see whether you're making money, breaking even, or losing money. This is a pretty good piece of data here. It's also good if you drive traffic from other sources, perhaps maybe from Pinterest, although you can track Pinterest traffic separately without doing all this work. But anyways, this could come in really handy with your site at some point. Here's the last data screen I'm going to step you through, and this just shows you how your traffic sources are doing for you revenue-wise and EPMV-wise. Over on the right here, EPMV got cut off, but it does provide that, and this is kind of cool. It, you know, especially I like to see how Pinterest performs versus Google versus if I'm driving any Facebook traffic. Just get an idea of whether that's worth doing. I mean, especially Pinterest. I do quite a bit of Pinterest. This particular site that's profiled here does a little bit of traffic on Pinterest, as you can see. And so it lets me know, okay, is Pinterest traffic actually worth it or not, just from a revenue perspective. I'm going to wrap it up here with the final chart, just give you an idea what kind of increase that was. This is at Site 2 that had a really good boost from Ezoic. That's a 49% increase. I'm optimistic. 50, that'd be cool. 49% increase. EPMV was just a tad under that. So definitely work for that site. The Site 1, nominal improvement. I would pretty much conclude a break even. So it really does vary site to site. And what's interesting is Site 1 and Site 2 had the exact pre-Ezoic layouts. And so, and I pretty much put the same number of placeholders with Ezoic on both sides. So it's really interesting how one site improved so much and the other one didn't really improve at all. So it's an interesting observation. What that means is I can't really tell you or guarantee or tell you for sure that your site's going to improve dramatically with Ezoic, but it might. I mean, I had one site broke even, the other one huge improvement. So worth trying, yeah. At least give it a 30-day go. Check out the data because that's really cool, useful information. And at least give it 30 days. If you don't have a lot of traffic to your site, you're going to have to give it more, because the more traffic that it can be tested, the better, more firm your results. I mean, if you get 50 page views per day, that's really going to take a long time to hammer out proper results and conclusions. But if you're getting 50,000 visitors a day, then you probably get pretty conclusive results after a couple of weeks. So it all depends how much traffic you get. Both of my sites get a reasonable amount of traffic, and I think 30 days was sufficient to get a good idea about how Ezoic would perform. Definitely did well with Site 2. Break even Site 1. Enough of the graphs. That's a wrap on this Ezoic case study and review. Give it a shot. Thanks for watching.